Everything is not enough. I remember the day, or, more accurately, the occasion that the floodgates were opened on my promiscuity. It was when I attended a particular university for the purposes of an admission interview. It was early December, and this historic and beautiful university city was lit up by orange and yellow lamps as a little mist clung to the narrow alleyways and courtyards. I had concluded my 2 interviews, and do read the book Fury if you want to know more about how they progressed and how one interview in particular impacted on me. And I then returned to the junior common room to meet up with 2 other candidates. They were applying to the same college as I was, but wanting to read a different subject to me. They were both English literature students. He was from Greenock in Scotland, and she was a bookbinder's daughter from Cambridge in England. Beer was consumed, stories swapped, and the fellow from Greenock retired to his room. The bookbinder's daughter, she was called Sarah, came back to my room, and we talked before we climbed into bed together. I had a girlfriend at the time, and whilst there had been dalliances with the girls, I had not slept with another. That changed that night, and in the morning too. Sarah wandered away, across the quadrangle to her room, and I rose from my bed to seek out the bathroom. Sarah decided to stay another day at the college, even though her interviews were over, because she wanted to spend time with me. I was happy for her to do so, as I waited around, as was customary, in case an interview arose at another college. The following day, we both departed, she to the east and me to the west, and once I alighted at the train station near to my girlfriend's house, I went straight round to see her. She was pleased to see me, and embraced me with enthusiasm. I returned the enthusiasm. I had no sense of guilt at my infidelity, nothing at all. Instead, I revelled in the way I had taken Sarah to my bed, and now strode into my then-girlfriend's bedroom with her asking me with admiration how my interview had progressed, and what the college was like. Following that first time of infidelity, I never looked back. I cheated left, right, and centre, with that girlfriend and with all subsequently. Why did I do it? Way back then I realised how good it made me feel, but I had no understanding of why I actually did it. Something always drove me to do it. I realised that the relevant girlfriend would be upset if she knew what I had done, but this never stopped me. I never gave it a second thought. Even as I was locked in an embrace with some relative stranger and an image of the girlfriend formed in my mind, I felt no tug of conscience, of remorse or guilt. All I knew was that I was able to seduce, pull, entice and ensnare everywhere that I went. I would meet someone and always find something attractive about them. It might be the colour of their hair, the length of their legs, their accent, the way they rolled the letter R, the fact they drank with a straw, or the size of their breasts. It might be their enthusiasm for a particular band, their recollection of travelling, or the manicured nails. Each and every one had some kind of attraction. I could not resist trying to ensnare someone in order to bring them under my spell. It was then that I realised what it was that really drew them to me. It was their promise of their attention, their emotional intention. I then realised that it was not so much about the characteristics that I have just described, but more in respect of identifying that they were kind, honest, decent, someone who believed in love. I realised I was able to get them hooked on me. I had convinced myself that I was drawn to them for some other reason, but it dawned on me that I was just telling myself that was the reason. A reason that I required to explain this compelling desire to couple with someone. But that was not the real reason. The truth was, I wanted their emotional attention on me, and, by seducing them in this way, this was the prime way of getting it. This was my early introduction to the concept of fuel. Yes, it was pleasant engaging in that first kiss, and I enjoyed the sensations that arose when the embrace escalated, but it was not what I actually wanted. I wanted them to praise me. I wanted them to become transfixed by me, and for them to shine their spotlight firmly on me. The promiscuity has always continued, and it does not matter who with it is. The fact that I am able to do and seduce, and by so doing gather that starry-eyed admiration, those pleasing words and the attention, is what it is all about. This engagement does not end with behaving in a promiscuous fashion. I will engage in discussions with a stranger of my own sex at a bar, a railway platform, or in a lift. I have no desire to seduce that person sexually, for that is not my preference. But I do cause them to like me, and in so doing, give me that fuel that I need. Sometimes I feel like admitting my repeated transgressions straight away to the relevant girlfriend of the time, but I have no desire to puncture my primary source of fuel by doing this. I do find it interesting how they always react with such alarm and distress on the odd occasion I do make such a confession. Yet if I tell them how well I got on with a random male in an exchange at a bar, someone with whom I have swapped views, thoughts and opinions, I receive a smile and a comment of, well, it's always good to make new friends. Yet an admission of coupling with a stranger results in hysteria, even though to me these interactions are similar. Yes, one might yield greater fuel than the other, but in terms of intimacy, they are equally redundant. That is not why I do it. I do not do it because I want to savour the sensation of another's mouth against me. I do it because I want them to give me fuel. I can understand how you may be aghast if in a normal relationship a partner behaves with infidelity. But to our kind, it's just about the attention, the admiration, the fuel. You have such a great hang-up because sex is involved. That is just the gateway device to me. If I could get the attention another way so that it provides such fuel, then believe me, I will do it. However, in your world, on the whole, the act of a sexual union accords a greater connection between two people, which means you yield more fuel and are more inclined to keep providing it as you seek more from the liaison. Our promiscuity arises to enable us to achieve fuel from the new target who is seduced by us, and from you, should we alert you in some way, either in whole or in part, to our new interest. The condemnation that is attached to promiscuity when in a relationship means that your reaction just provides us with even more fuel. There is a risk of your supply being punctured by this revelation, but it is a calculated risk, and it is often done when the quality of your supply generally has begun to wane. To us, promiscuity, when in a relationship, is merely a means to an end. To you, well, you behave as if it is the end of the world. It really isn't.